3, 2, 1.
Hello. Ed's forgotten to add himself. Let me add him.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. How you doing, Ed?
I'm all right.
Jolly good, jolly good. And welcome to this Wednesday afternoon. It's grim outside and it's pretty lovely and warm in here. We've got all sorts of stuff, maybe, to tell you about today. So just as a reminder, thank you very much for being a member of the club. And this Wednesday afternoon is kind of a little bit of insight into the planning for tomorrow, plus a little bit of industry gossip and anything else that we kind of feel like and can share at this particular point in time. Johnny, I see you're always drinking, aren't you? It's either a cup of tea or it's alcohol during the live stream. We had food last week, I seem to remember.
Johnny does have time. He does have time limits on when each thing can be deployed.
Yeah. It's coffee until about 1600 local.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And what kind of coffee do you drink?
Well, I'm actually drinking instant right now, but I'd normally have a little Nespresso thing because it tastes better. But I was in a rush. I was making this at 3 minutes to, and I thought, oh dear, I need to hurry up.
Yeah. I remember before COVID, we used to run, as you know, events in Rome once a year, about this time of year actually. Actually, maybe a little bit later on. And so we'd always go over to Rome and do these events. And Darren, who works in our sales team, who looked after kind of the Italian territory, he'd come over as well, and we'd always go out for lunch and stuff like that the day before. And we'd have a nice lunch in a little Rome bistro somewhere, and of course the Italians take it very seriously about which coffee they drink at what time. And so we get to the end of the meal, and they go, "I won't do the Italian accent to just upset people." And they go, "Yeah, I'll have an espresso. I'll have an espresso. I'll have an espresso." And he gets to Darren, and Darren would always go, "I'll have a cappuccino, please." And like it goes silent in the restaurant, and everyone goes, "Someone's drinking a cappuccino after 11 o'clock in the morning." Oh my god! But there you go, and we all kind of moved away. Not to. So hello, all from Rob Hughes and all at the BMAA.
I know. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Rob. How you doing?
How's life being boss?
Yeah. How is it? Let us know. So who went flying for the LAA's 75th anniversary? That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah. I know. I see Paul Sengupta is in the comments, and I know he didn't make it, judging by things I saw on Facebook.
Didn't he? Paul, didn't you get stuck at Popham or something?
I think he was. Yeah. So not great weather in spots.
No.
And as workers, well, I'm planning to do my LAA fly on the weekend on Sunday. So
Likewise.
Yeah, me too. We need to see what Simon's got in store for us tomorrow.
Yeah,
Big Money's one wide circuit. Well done for that.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we'll go.
He said I did my 75th flying on Monday, as it was rubbish here yesterday.
Well, yesterday was a trifle busy for most of us, wasn't it, Inya?
That's it, yeah.
I think it was a busy day.
That's it. We can tell what kind of ship Rob Hughes is running because he says, "Call me sir."
A load of us in Popham, none of us are able to get over the ridge and get to Tour Western. Well, there you go. Oh, right. So let's just have a quick run through of what's going on tomorrow night, just to give you a little bit of insight before we run out of time and stuff like that. The first and most important thing to do on the list is that Johnny, that person there, he's not going to be here tomorrow night. I'm not going to say again, but again, I think, Johnny, I need to get a pen. I'm feeling a little bit strange with nothing in my hands. I can't cope with that. Yeah, so Johnny's off doing something else tomorrow night. I believe your wife had booked tickets for something or other.
Yeah, a podcast, believe it or not. We're actually going to a podcast. Yes.
Are you going to Fish? The Fish podcast?
Yes.
That would be good. Get some tips.
You're going to watch a podcast?
Yeah, actually watch a podcast in a theatre, be recorded.
Isn't that a performance rather than a podcast? That's what we used to call them back in the days when you could go to live theatre.
That's a fair point, Dave. Fair point. Yeah.
David's asking, have you got a good-looking replacement? Well, unfortunately, how can we put this politely, given that Johnny's standing replacement is in the comments today? Yes, of course, we've got an amazing-looking replacement.
He's no Tom Cruise, but he is Paul Kiddell.
Yeah, Paul Kiddell will be joining us. Paul Kiddell is the new Carol for a day.
Yes.
So, Paul, we expect you to look like Carol. We want that picture in the background. We want the long hair and everything else. So we're looking forward to that tomorrow. Yeah, talking of recording of No Such Thing as a Fish, or a performance, as Dave would call it, have we moved our plans on any further to do the live stream from Leicester?
Yeah, I've spoken to them. They're up for it. We just need to sort out a date between us.
Okay.
And, as long as we give them
we
a decent bit of notice.
Yeah.
We'll give them a decent bit of notice. We'll get a date. We'll get maybe get them to lay on a curry afterwards, and then see how many people we can get to come along. I mean, they might not want to lay on a curry for the 2 people that come along and watch the live stream.
I think Thursday night is curry night anyway, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Even better. Well, we need to talk about that. Let's have a chat about that at some stage. When you get back from your latest holiday, Johnny, we can talk about that. Yeah. So moving on, what have we got? Oh, tomorrow. In fact, later on this afternoon, there should be a new issue, shouldn't there?
New issue goes live later on today.
Wow, that's going to be good. So go rush and find your new issue later on today. So we'll obviously be talking about that tomorrow. That'll take about 100 hours. The Department for Transport issued a thing yesterday. Actually, they issued it, didn't they? Which was they're getting together with the CEA to reunite some people to talk about a specification for an interoperable specification for electronic conspicuity or something, isn't it?
That's it.
Dave, you probably know a bit more about this, but
well, it's exactly what you said. Yeah, it's probably been forced on them by or sped up a bit because of the drone industry, unmanned aircraft industry. Yeah, we've all been complaining about TDAs, and the drone industry complains about them as well. So they want to fly outside TDAs, and the only way that can really happen is with an effective detect and avoid system, and for that we need electronic conspicuity.
Wow.
Yeah. So go take a well. I was going to say go take a look at a document on the DFT website, but you won't be hugely wiser at the end of that document because it's basically just saying that, isn't it? We're going to get industry and a few people together, and we're going to talk about it and come up with a specification. So for an interoperable thing, we just want to make sure it is truly interoperable and not just limited to the UK, because no one wants to be changing equipment or buying equipment just for the UK and then need to buy more equipment when you go to France or wherever. So hopefully that will get done. Then we're going to have a chat about the Kieval danger area, which looks like becoming permanent.
Yeah, there's moved by the RAF to make that. They had a temporary. They had a TDA this year, didn't they? And they want to make that permanent for watchkeeper ops into Salisbury Plain. So
apparently it's British Army, not RAF.
Okay.
And it's 450 kilograms. This thing, so it's the size of a microlight, basically.
An old microlight.
It's also just literally about a couple of 100 yards that way. Well, maybe a bit more than a couple of 100 yards, but not much more than a mile that way. So that's a little bit of a pain in the backside. I'm hoping it will just be activated by NOTAM or something. But then we're going to be talking about a Cessna story, which is like Cessna. You can now have no lead in your pencil if you fly a Cessna or something, isn't it? Something to do with unleaded fuel in the Cessna. So we'll chat about that when we find out a bit more. But there's yet another flying car. This one's from China. Xpeng. I don't know. Are we ever going to have flying cars? I don't think so.
Do you know this Xpeng? They've raised $500 million just on the talk about it to produce it. $500 million. Crackers.
That won't last long.
No, it won't. They'll burn through that in next to no time.
That's it.
It would take us, if we had $500 million, it would take us a good 6 months to burn through that.
We would definitely be much more careful with that spend, I think.
Yes.
We would, actually.
I think you'd find me in the Bahamas.
Yeah, we decided to flight test this in the Bahamas. Absolutely. Flywood says you can't say unmanned, it's a remote person. Unmanned what?
That is
remote
true.
person.
There's been a change in terminology. It's no longer unmanned aircraft. It's remote,
remotely piloted.
Remotely piloted.
Air system or something.
Yeah.
What? RPAD.
Uncrewed,
What if it's
uncrewed? I believe is the word I heard on the weekend.
uncrewed. I can kind of get uncrewed because I mean, presumably at some stage you'll just you get your phone, you go, here's your mission, send up the data, and the thing will just go do what it has to do. Come back.
Yeah.
RPV, remotely piloted vehicle. There you go.
However, the DFT statement does refer to unmanned.
Oh dear, they're behind the times. DFT.
Someone will be for the high jump. Then there's the other news that you might have seen. If you haven't seen it, it's on Facebook somewhere, and I'm sure we'll get something about it when we dig it out. We've all been really, really busy of late. Last couple of days. Finland is for sale.
Yeah.
So there you go. You get all sorts with Finland, it appears, including the revenue, I guess, from 50-odd hangared aircraft that it seems to have there as well. So yeah. So if someone invested 500 million with us, I reckon we'd have enough to buy Finland, have a very, very nice, luxurious office and studio complex with some nice aircraft there. That's what we need, isn't it? We need an airfield with a luxurious office and studio complex.
Yeah.
And yeah, how can we make that happen?
The Flyer Airfield crowdfunding initiative.
Yeah.
Free landings all the time.
David Eads currently trials sending mail to islands in Orkney. Well, there you go.
I think
all of those.
The Royal Mail, isn't it? They're using large, remotely piloted aircraft.
All of those drones just to get your junk mail earlier.
That's it.
Yeah.
We'll have an update on where's Zara, and I'll tell you right now that Zara is in Nome, or at least their airplane's in Nome. I'm assuming that Zara is in Nome as well, and that's getting on for. That'll be 4 weeks tomorrow, I think, that she arrived in Nome.
It's a long
I'm going to try and get hold of Sam again.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed?
That's a long time to be in Alaska.
Yeah.
When you're just trying to get somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a story that Dave's. I'm not going to write. I'm not going to read out what we've written down here, but there's a story about seals.
Well, it's a story about the Civil Air Support, and they flew a seal, a rare Arctic seal, closer to where it should be from where it was.
Could have flown it to Zara.
They could have done.
Clearly, if it wasn't in the Arctic, it was definitely not where it should be.
Paul Sengupta, we could knock up a luxury garden shed for you on a strip somewhere. Yeah, that would be great.
You've got to start somewhere. That would work.
I'm sure on YouTube there must be some of those like Amish barn raising videos or something.
Almost.
Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need a Flyer Club studios come hangar raising day or something.
Okay.
I mean, you could play the music. You could play the music from Oklahoma. That's the scene, isn't it? Where all the people raise the barn, singing Oklahoma.
I believe, Johnny. I believe Dave may be referring to a musical.
That's right. Yes.
A quaint practice from olden days.
Would you like to hum that, Dave? No. Right. Okay. Fair enough. And the other thing we'll be talking about tomorrow is I don't know if you remember, but back at the LAA rally, Grant Shapps dropped by the flyer stand and said, "I'm going to invite you in to talk about what can be deregulated." That's a really crap Grant Shapps impression. I'm sorry. Anyway, he did eventually, and I was up there yesterday with a couple of other people for a chat with him about what could be deregulated. So I'll give you an update on that. A whole bunch of bits and pieces there. Paul Sengupta, we had a couple of luxury garden sheds at Bourne Park before it closed. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's closed. What we need is more than a garden shed. We need a studio. What we really want is a studio that you can wheel something about Cessna size in, really, ideally, and sort of quite high to get some nice, quite high lights in. Yeah, just a hangar really on a private strip with a nice office. It's not asking much, is it? If you can get 500 million for a website with an electric car, that I don't see why we can't get 500 million.
Did you have going back to your trip into London town to see Grant Shapps? Did you get good biscuits? Or was it an interview
there were no biscuits. There were no biscuits.
Oh,
there were. There was the offer of hot drinks and water and stuff like that, but it wasn't like a bring your hat there's no biscuits and no coffee type of interview. In fact, it was really difficult because it was supposed to be at one day, then it changed to another day, and then the time changed an hour, and then it was going to be at the DFT, and it changed from the DFT to be at the House of Commons, and then we got this address that no one recognised. You go, it's got like Room M, Parliament Street or something. And you go, well, where's that? Yeah. So actually, in the end, it ended up being in Portcullis House, opposite House of Parliament. But the room did have a nice view over the river, so we could. So that was quite good. And then the person who had the room booked after that was Robert Courts, funnily enough. So he kind of aviation minister. So he sort of popped his head round and went, oops. So we went and grabbed him, pulled him in for a quick chat.
So you don't get away that easily.
No, you don't run now. And then we had some remote people, I think from the CAA basically who were dialing in via Zoom, and speaking over a mobile phone.
Very good.
So yeah, well, I'll give you a bit of an update on that stuff. I mean, the short version is there's some good stuff. There's some stuff that I was a bit disappointed in. There was 13 different action points got raised on the day. So if those action points, I can imagine. I like to think that this morning there were various people firing off emails for those action points, and there are other people making things happen already. And that would be really good, wouldn't it? So what else happened? So that was that really. Ed, do you want to tell everyone? We got a quiz for you tomorrow, so don't forget. Spread the word. Come along on the quiz. I'm tempted to say there'll be a prize, but I'm not sure what it'll be. Of some kind.
What am I telling people?
About the quiz tomorrow.
The quiz. So in Fancy Hangar, inspired by the fact that Cessna have been the first people to kind of go, hey, our aeroplanes can run on unleaded. We're going for what would be our favourite Cessna to add to our Fancy Hangar. And while we were delving into all things Cessna, we found a list of all the Cessna marketing phrases. Some of these, you will know some of these, even if you don't realise that you know them, because they pervade general aviation. But we're going to have a quiz. How many phrases from Cessna's world of marketing can you remember? So
can you? We haven't quite worked out the format of the quiz yet, but it might be, here's a phrase. Can you translate what it actually refers to?
Yes.
Or something like that. We'll see.
And
we'll see. So there'll be a quiz.
A true or false. This one is fake.
That's true. We could have different. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. So it's going to be a great quiz. So come and join in the quiz. We'll expect Paul Kidell to go and do lots of Cessna research and get full marks. We could be talking to tomorrow's guest is
Greeners.
Greeners. Yep. Greeners celebrating 20 years, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, 20 years of ultimate high from Bulldogs through to
T67s.
He doesn't look it.
No. He doesn't. So that should, Greens is always good value for money, so he'll be telling us that. And no, I'm not going to spoil that, so we'll talk just in case it's not happened. So we'll tell you that another day, maybe. And do you want to tell people what Fantasy Hangar is so they can bring their?
I already have.
Their Fantasy Hangar. You already have.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. See, Paul Sengupta's already on.
Dave and Johnny, did I do that bit?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, good. There we go. Paul Sengupta's already.
I wasn't paying attention. I was probably typing something. I did do a quick search for Oklahoma to see if I could put it on the thing and play it, but I couldn't. Can we get Greeners to overcome his shyness? Unlikely, isn't it? Frankly. Yeah. So. I know. Sorry. Right. So seeing as none of us managed to actually fly on whenever it was that went yesterday.
Rich Salmon says, Ian's reminding me of me.
I hope that's good, Rich. Yes. You're flying at the weekend, hopefully, are you, Ed?
Well, if the weather's good, hopefully, I'll do my LAA fly it day flying on Sunday. So
okay.
I've got to. I think they might be opening up to Western again. I'm not sure. I may have to check with Steve Slater, or I may have committed them to opening up at that point.
Say it again, but louder, and they will.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Don't go
if you are going
without checking.
Hang on a second. Oh, I got a private comment here from Greeners, who's obviously watching. This shy Greeners, love the grey beige paint margin in your office on the live stream. Well, yeah. Okay, so I mean, you're only supposed to see this part of it here. You see, that's the thing. And in which case there is no grey. But for the kind of this part of it, I thought we'd use something different than that, and you kind of get a wider view of the office and that little kind of margin, which is not fully done. So there you go. Right, I'll hide that now.
We have a question. John Shankland says, "What aircraft do you all fly?"
Good question, John.
Go round the room.
Off you go then.
Ian.
Well, I fly a Cessna 182 when I can. I have a little problem at the moment, which I need to sort out to get it to start properly, and a Cessna 180, and anything else I can get my hands on, but mainly Cessna 182 and a 180. Things
we stuff you into for the magazine.
And anything you put me in for the magazine, yeah, absolutely. I am very, very lucky. I do get to fly an awful lot of aircraft for a relatively short amount of time.
Yes, Johnny.
How about you, Ed?
Oh,
Johnny then.
Yeah, RV6 for me.
Good choice.
Yeah, which I have done for a long time. Before that, Citabria. Used to love that thing.
Equally good choice. Yeah. Dave?
You're putting me on the spot here because I've got to get my medical back after a little medical issue, and then I can revalidate, and then I can start flying again, which will probably be from Bodmin, if there's anything left. But it will probably be from Bodmin because that's now my nearest airfield.
Excellent.
That's another story.
New aeroplane in your future, Dave, or a share, or just club aeroplane?
Well, there's a couple of nice shares down at Bodmin. There's
always a share in G. Ivor.
That's it. There's that one.
Chief. Yeah.
There's a couple like that. There's also a Jodelle down there as well, which I've had a quick flight in a couple of months ago, and that was quite nice to fly. But I just found my knees getting in the way of the stick all the time, or perhaps the stick's getting in the way of my knees, one or the other.
Yeah.
So I think that's possibly a bit too small for me.
Yeah, but if someone has a Luscombe that they'd like to place at Bodmin for your use,
then that would be good. Actually, the nearest airfield to me is Bolt Head.
Yeah,
but and there is a Luscombe there, but I haven't managed to get round to going for a flight in it yet.
Okay.
The nearest airfield to you is actually Plymouth. It's just some bunch of people who've decided that they've rolled up the runway and you can't fly from it because they'd rather build houses or ship boats on it or something.
That it's built houses actually, yes, but there's a chance that will change because both sides of the council, the Labour and the Conservative parts of the council, both want to reopen the airport, so they say. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Excellent.
What was that share in G. Ivor? What's G. Ivor? I should know this.
That's Pete White's famous Aronka Chief.
Yes.
Dave, you need to get a share in that. That will get you hours and hours of just pure comedy, fun, enjoyable flying.
I've never flown in a Aronka.
Really, just for floating. I mean, seriously, if you can get a deal where you buy a share and then sell that share in a year or two's time, just spend a year floating around Devon and Cornwall. It'll probably take you a year to fly around Devon and Cornwall in the Aronka, actually. But yeah, no, just such a brilliant aeroplane for floating around of the summer. Absolutely. Can't recommend that highly enough.
Definitely.
So, Ed, you haven't told everyone what you fly. Unless there's something else I missed.
No. I definitely haven't done that bit. I borrow a Vagabond and fly that occasionally. I've got this pretty little RV3, which I fly as well. There's an RV8 waiting in a hangar for me at Wadswick that I need to do more flying of. And there's an RV6 that I need to do more flying on as well. So more flying is the key words here.
Yeah, more flying. When we get one of those like gloriously crisp calm winter days, we should get all of the airplanes together and have a bit of a fly away day or something.
Yeah, good idea. We can do that and maybe see if people want to join in.
Yeah, there you go. That would be good. That would be good. Yeah, just a couple. There's a gazillion lovely strips around here as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There we go.
Johnny could make bacon sandwiches and tea and coffee for everyone as punishment for all of the evenings he's missing when he's at podcasting or something.
Yeah, good luck with that. I don't know if you'd want those.
Don't forget, I'm away in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
I'm away in a couple of weeks' time as well.
Yeah,
18th,
that's true.
18th of November.
18th. And so we're looking for applications for Dave's one stand-in replacement for the 18th of November. Please send your CVs too. Please send your CVs along with studios and strip offers. Great. Okay. Has anyone got anything else? We've been going for nearly half an hour now, which is about the time we all have spare on a Wednesday afternoon before we go and get the rest of the stuff ready.
Yeah.
I haven't got anything else. Anyone got anything else?
No, that's about it.
Anyone got any questions?
No.
Anyone know anything about the fire down at Bodmin?
No.
No more than that was on Facebook.
Yeah. It's just as well their fuel store is well away from the hangar, I'd say. It looked like the hangar really took the brunt of it.
Yeah, and luckily someone was there and the aeroplanes got pulled out. So I don't think they suffered an aeroplane loss, did they? So
it didn't. No, that's right.
Great news.
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, what sent shivers through my spine when I saw the pictures and when I was relieved that all the airplanes had moved out. A gazillion years ago, I used to have my aircraft looked after by a company at Kemble who are no longer there or in business, in fact. But their office, I remember going in their office, and their office pretty much had all of the logbooks and documents for all of the aircraft they looked after.
Right.
And you could just, I mean, now I keep them myself, but you just imagine if that lot disappeared. That would be that's an unthinkable nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it happened down at Bodmin, by the way. Just
no.
Get Greeners in again, says Paul Sengupta. Johnny, great at bacon sandwiches, says Mark Greenfield. Oh, there you go.
Right.
Well, we'll see. We'll audition Greeners tomorrow. See what he says, shall we?
Yeah.
See if he's any good.
Yeah.
We've already discussed how we can get you to come out of your shell and speak tomorrow. But anyway, I've got no more. Has anyone else got any more? Anyone else got any questions or anything else before we run away and busy ourselves with work? No?
No.
In that case, thank you very much for watching. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bring your quiz brain to the Cessna quiz and bring your favourite Cessna to Fancy Hangar. Spread the word, and we will see you sometime tomorrow. In fact, at 7:30 tomorrow, in fact, on our YouTube channel. You read it here. And there's a new issue coming out. Don't forget the new issue. Talk to you soon.
You'll see that later on today.
You will.
See you all.
Right.
Bye.
See y'all. I should be like professional here and put a picture up.
Yeah, I've got it. See you all.
You got it. See ya.